Hi everyone, my name is Suzanne and I'm a Chinese metaphysics master in Hong Kong. And today I'm going to show you how you can look at your Bazi chart and see what are the biggest risks of failure for you in 2023. And obviously we're going to do this so you can avoid failure in 2023. Yeah, a lot of times we make plans for a year and we have a lot of motivation to get something done, and then things just start happening and our plans don't really work out. And at the end of the year, we're then really disappointed in ourselves, in others, and just kind of feel like it's been a wasted year. So we want to avoid this, and therefore we look at the Bazi chart and see what the pitfalls are for 2023, and so we can avoid these kind of bitter feelings at the end of the year. So first things first, obviously you will have to plot your Bazi chart. You have to go to this particular URL. I'm also posting it to in the notes to this video. So go there and then just enter your date and time of birth. Now, if you don't have your time of birth, you can still do this. It may be slightly less accurate. We always advise to plot the chart with your time of birth, but don't panic. Yeah, just put in the information that you have and then we go ahead. Now, once you've plotted this chart, for those of you especially who are new to Bazi astrology, you will see a chart that there's a lot of characters and there's a lot of boxes and whatever, and it looks quite confusing. But again, do not panic. Just scroll all the way down to the chart, and then you will see on the left-hand side, you will see this sort of diagram where it says 5 structures. Yeah, so scroll all the way down. This is the only thing we're going to look at for this particular purpose. You don't have to worry about anything else. And because we are specifically only looking at the year 2023, what we focus on is this purple diagram that you see here. Yeah, don't worry about the beige colored one. This is the natal distribution of the elements in your chart, but we're really only concerned with the annual one. And therefore, we just focus on the purple diagram. Now, as you can see, this is not evenly distributed. In most cases, there will be some spikes and some indentations like this one here. And what you need to look at is which of these dots, which of these elements is the weakest. Now, in this particular case, you see that the metal element is the weakest. Yeah, this one here is metal. And so here, this is basically at a 0. Yeah, the wood is at 100%, the water is at 80%. We've got the earth element, which is at 20, and the fire element at 40%. So clearly, this one here, the metal element, is the weakest. Now, it may happen in some charts that you have 2 elements at 0 or at equally the same weakness. Then you look at both of those weak elements, yeah? So if you have, let's say, I know 2 elements that are at 20%, for example, and everything else is higher than 20%, then you look at both of those elements, all right? Now, take note of the element that is the weakest, because this will tell us where our risk of failure lies in 2023. And then obviously knowing that, we can avoid failure. So if the weakest element is the wood element, then your biggest risk in 2023 is that you listen to too many naysayers and you just don't filter the feedback that you get from other people. Yeah, you just listen to everybody rather than kind of trusting your own gut instinct as well, at least a little bit. And when people tell you, oh, you can't do it, or you don't have the resources, or it's never going to work, you kind of believe them. Yeah, so you trust all the naysayers, but not yourself. And this is what can lead to failure, or can lead to a situation where you don't even get started with all those plans that you have. Now, always remember, if someone tells you, oh, this will never work out, you can't do it, that just means that they couldn't do it. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. Yeah, everything that every invention out there is something where people previously said, oh, it can't be done, right? So keep that in mind. Do not listen to all the naysayers out there, and just kind of try to filter the feedback a little bit. Certainly, some plans need revision, but it doesn't mean that they outright just won't work out. Yeah. So this is your biggest key takeaway for 2023 if wood is the weakest element. Now, if it so happens that fire is the weakest element for you in 2023, then you are too much of a perfectionist. You kind of procrastinate because things are never quite perfect and you're just waiting for things to be perfect or until you've um, perfected the entire procedure of a particular plan. And that then leads to you never actually being able to implement your plans or to execute your plans. Things will never be perfect. And so you don't act. And this is your biggest risk of failure in 2023. At some point, you just need to say, okay, you know what? Things are not perfect, but they are as good as they get. And I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And then we'll just, iron out small kinks here and there while we are doing it. So this is really what you need to keep in mind. Just get going. Start. Don't procrastinate because things will never be perfect. All right. Now, if your weakest element is the earth element, then you are overly confident. Yeah, you're not really looking at the risks. The rules have changed. As you have noticed over the past few years, the way we used to do things don't really work anymore. We kind of need to adapt. So if you are overly confident that you can succeed because it's always worked out the way you've done it, and you don't really look at the changes of environment, the change in the economy, the change in your customer behavior, then you will fail because you and everyone else needs to adapt to the different circumstances that we're dealing with, right? Especially when it comes to customer behavior. We shop differently, we consume things differently, our priorities have shifted. And so the way we've done things previously just don't work anymore. So you need to adapt and not be overly confident that just because everything has worked out so far, because you've always done the same thing, it's going to work out in the future. You need to adapt. All right. Now, if metal is your weakest element, like in this particular case, then your biggest risk of failure is that you don't ask for help. Yeah, help is out there, but you're somehow just too proud to ask for help. And you think that it's a sign of weakness and you don't want to expose yourself or make yourself look vulnerable. And or maybe you're just too shy. Yeah, and so that can also be a risk of failing. You know that the help is out there, but somehow you don't feel confident enough or comfortable to ask for this help, or maybe you're just feeling like you're not deserving of any help. Yeah, that can also be a case. So this year, if metal is your weakest element, overcome that hesitancy to ask for help and really ask. Whenever something is not working out, ask for help. Don't wait until until shit hits the fan and then you really, really, really need help. Ask before these things happen. And then lastly, if water is your weakest element, then your biggest risk of failure is that you don't trust others and you kind of think that only you can do things right. You are the only one who can do things the way you do it, and you don't delegate, you don't trust others, and that's why you don't really cooperate with other people, because it brings an element of uncertainty into the equation and you feel like you don't need this, you can do everything by yourself. Yeah, so this is something that you need to overcome. You're not the only one who can do what you do. Probably if you work with others, you will realize that others have strengths that add value to whatever it is that you're offering in terms of products and services. So you need to collaborate more, trust others, be more open to teamwork, and then you can avoid failure in 2023. All right. So I hope this helped. Have a look at your Bazi chart. We're just at the beginning of the year, so if you get this right from the get-go, this will definitely give you momentum and carry you forward and ensure that you can really, really execute all those plans that you've had. So if you have any questions, please get in touch with me or put your comments in the comment section below. I'd be more than happy to reply. And please like this video, share the video, and subscribe to my channel. You'd really help me out. Thank you and see you soon.